Welcome back everyone, it's Sierra Nova here, and today we're going to be going over the Injustice 2021 movie, and I can't say how everyone else may feel about it, but for me it was definitely interesting and I found myself enjoying it every step of the way. We got to see some Superman and Lois Lane interactions, but unfortunately it was cut short by the Joker and Harley Quinn. Those two are always up to no good as usual, but one of my favorite things I liked about Injustice 2021 was Superman putting a stop to it permanently. Granted, Superman only did this in retaliation for what they did to Lois, who was expecting, but the Joker definitely had this coming for a while. I mean, let's be honest here, the Joker is one of those bullies you have to put your foot down to, or he's gonna keep messing with you. I wouldn't say that Batman is lenient, because I don't think that's a fair word, but I'd say that Batman doesn't really believe in stooping down to the level of criminals. Arguably, this makes his job a lot harder because it's a lot of people to keep in check, and a lot of repeated offenders, like the Joker who doesn't seem to learn, for example. I still can't figure out why Joker thought Superman was a good choice to mess with, because he definitely wasn't. In fact, I went back and looked at all of Superman's abilities because I can't remember all of them. I mean, they've been kind of evolving since the late 1930s. But anyway, around then, I think the Golden Age Superman still had the main things like super speed, super strength, and super senses. But then Superman started kind of leveling up, and like by the 1970s, he had the super breath, then vulnerability to the point where he could withstand an atomic explosion. I think y'all get the point, but clearly the Joker didn't, and that's where he messed up at. I don't know if the Joker got comfortable messing around with Batman, but sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side, and he definitely learned that. It's also kind of crazy how this whole back and forth that Batman has been having with the Joker just ended instantaneously. Like Batman was standing there having some sort of intervention with the Joker for the millionth time, and Superman just busts in and basically says this isn't good enough and ends it in a second. Anyway, one thing that I also liked was how Superman's relationship kind of got strained with everyone and how they portrayed that. Like it got strained even with Wonder Woman at one point, but only because Superman really started falling in the deep end and losing sight of things. I will say I do think he started off with great intentions because Superman wanted peace at first and to end all unnecessary squabbling. But it was like the more Superman snuffed out people, the easier it became and the more he lost his way. It got to the point where the Justice League split apart, and to the point where Mr. Terrific had to pull Superman from Earth 9 to try and reel things back in. Of course, even that didn't work, but pulling Lois from another Earth did, and she was able to talk some sense into him. And I mean, if that didn't work either, then they just would have been SOL, because I mean, Superman lost his woman, his unborn child, and his dad. And unfortunately, it's just like what they say about how when it rains, it pours. Considering all that he lost and how quickly it happened, I expected Batman not to be able to reach Superman, especially with something like that. One thing I have always liked seeing, however, is the difference between Superman and Batman, how they interact, and their relationship as best friends. Even though Superman is insanely stronger than Batman, Superman still respects him and even seeks out his help. They're kind of like yin and yang, and I've enjoyed that about their dynamic a lot. Now, speaking of dynamics, another duo that has an interesting dynamic would have to be Robin and Nightwing. Now, this dynamic is similar to Superman and Batman because Robin, aka Damian, and Nightwing are yin and yang. But Robin definitely has a lot more to deal with, and it seems like he looks up to Nightwing in almost a sibling sense, and they were shown sparring together. I'm pretty sure this is obvious, but I'd also like to point out how Robin is definitely a little bit more edgy compared to Nightwing, and one, that's why I like Robin a lot, and two, I like how this makes him a little bit unpredictable. But I gotta admit, his unpredictability was a bit too much to handle in that whole prison scene. It crushed me a bit because we all know that Robin shouldn't have chunked a weapon at Nightwing's head while he was occupied and wasn't looking. Unfortunately, that didn't end well for Nightwing, and even Batman was upset with Damian. But we did get to see closure with that later on, and I'm glad that Robin got the closure that he needed because he genuinely didn't mean to do that, even though he shouldn't have done that. Overall, I enjoyed this movie, and it had parts about it that I really liked, especially the whole bit with Superman and seeing him lose himself. It's always been interesting to see good people and heroes struggle a bit in movies because it makes it more humane, oddly enough. And I've also liked seeing situations where the strongest hero or strongest person is just as much as an unstoppable enemy as they are an ally. Not to mention, it was nice seeing Joker get snuffed out because he definitely had that coming for a while. Anyway, if you watched it, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Thank you for tuning in. Sierra Nova is out.